How you guys doing? I got a treat for you today. Set number 75383 retails at $70, which I think everyone can agree is way too much for this set. It comes with 7 bags, an instruction manual, nice packaging for the fabric pieces, and extra pieces. And a good amount of the build contains some Technic. Anakin is about as good as you're gonna get, with his tan Harry Potter hair, a smiling face, and a shocked look. Darth Maul's torso and leg print flow really well together, but I would agree with other fans that he should have his cape and hood, especially at this price. The absence of the pupils are quite controversial. I prefer the pupils, but not having them isn't the biggest concern since I already have one with it, so it's kind of nice to have an alternate version. Darth Maul's speeder is pretty small, but I like the building techniques and overall it just looks really good. Qui-Gon Jinn looks great with some gray in his beard. The poncho is awesome, and make sure to put it like this and not like that, as it looks so much better. Since Cal Kestis will not come in a poncho in the Star Destroyer, I'll probably just use this one, but it's still annoying because that's a pretty iconic part of the character. The leg print doesn't blend very well with the brown, and I'm genuinely curious if LEGO's going to find a way to fix this, as I've seen it time and time again with these minifigures, and it's been such a prevalent issue. Otherwise, the torso underneath is pretty great. Lastly, Saw Gerrera, the main reason why people are going to buy this set, even if they have another Infiltrator. For me, I never had an Infiltrator, so this is my first. If I may sprinkle a little bit of bias, I've never been a big fan of the character. In the movies, I thought he was kind of weird, and in the Clone Wars show, he's sort of angry and doesn't really listen to anyone. Besides that, though, I think the figure is really great for what it's supposed to be. His hair works well, the slight squint in his eye is really spot on to Forrest Whitaker, the torso and leg prints flow really well with the tubes, the different colored hands and print on his legs show his robotic ligaments is a nice touch, the armor is printing on the side and the front matches the torso, and he has this gorgeous printed sponge cloth cape. Woo! Now onto the set. I want to start off with saying I really like this set. I'm quite fond of its size, as I think the other one looks way too big. I love the use of all the wedge plates to build up the curvature. Another controversial part of the ship is the large nose sticking out in the middle. I do agree it looks pretty bad, so I recommend 2Bricks' channel, as he did a great modification, and I'll put a link in the description. My idea would be to build up these pieces a bit more to cover up the large change in height, and I think it definitely helps with the look. This nose was made to hold a play feature, which I feel is totally worth it. More play features, the better. Inside, you could store 3 probe droids, and a little slope tile piece helps roll them down. A really cool technique with a rubber piece and a trap door. Pushing this releases the trap door and the probe droids, and when you push the door back up, there's just enough room to snap back in due to the rubber piece. You could also store Anakin inside the ship, but I'm not really sure why you'd want to. The next play feature is the well-hidden spring launcher, where they're underneath, and you could barely have to hit these buttons to make it launch. So I may not use it that often, as I'm just going to lose them, but I still appreciate it nevertheless. There's some greebling throughout the edges, and I haven't seen this piece before. It's very similar to the binocular piece, but with a large stud and anti-stud. So not sure if this new piece was really needed, but it looks nice. It has these green and red lights that are similar to the ones used on airplanes. The retractable landing gear is really fun too, and I think it just holds the ship really well. It's easy to put back in flight mode, and I just think it looks like a really good ship. The S-foil touching the floor is so small, which is well done. A small hinge build here to cover some gaps. I love the red window visor and really pops amongst the gray. The printed roof looks really good, and I think people are complaining way too much about the difference in color. The model's nicely tiled up in the back, and I love the use of those curved pieces. The thrusters use this really cool lime green piece. The cockpit is my favorite part, where I started with opening the roof because if you don't, the side parts can't open. If you notice, the side parts have just enough room to be behind Maul's shoulder. The bottom part also opens up, revealing a small control panel, some red. There are also 2 clips where you could store Darth Vader's lightsaber. When I'm putting him in, you don't really have to be precise, and it sort of adjusts as you could just throw him in there. It's kind of funny. And from a bird's eye view, it kind of looks like an arrowhead. Overall, I think this is a really good set. The ship itself is just a great thing to add to your collection, and it's one of the most unique ships with just the amount of play features they're able to just pack into it. I love play features. That Saw Gerrera is definitely going to be a big incentive for this set, but it's just so expensive. Like, I really think you just gotta wait for the set on sale. If you have the older version, I don't think that's as good as this one. It is bigger for that matter, but I mean, I like that this is a little more polished, and it's just, again, such a bummer. It's so expensive, but thanks for watching, and take care.